This is the Rich Lieberman Media Pulse. And I have to say this because apparently many of you, or at least some of you, have not registered this in your conscience. So I want to get this out of the way. I want to say it. I want to equate it. I want to do all the necessary things, but I want to be very, 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 very clear. Okay? This needs to be said. I am just tired of all the various conundrums and the misstatements and so forth. And every now and then I have to come and do this. But this particular situation is something to borrow a phrase, I want to be abundantly clear. Number one, I don't love Frank Somerville. He made it a point to find this site. I had a relationship with him many, many, many years ago via this site. And that's it. There is no buddy. He's not my buddy. An acquaintance, maybe at best. But I want to make some very, very clear equations. Okay. From a personal standpoint, I don't know Frank that well. He's a very, very flawed individual. Very flawed and troublesome and disturbing. All of the above. But that's not why I judge him here. I have always judged him and judge him as a very qualified anchor, a TV news anchor, nothing more and nothing less, which is one of the reasons why I have come to his defense as a news anchor. There are several things about his personality and what he's done in the past 3.5 years that is very disturbing. And I have said that all at once. The man is troubled. And I'm not going to sympathize with him. He could do that on his own. I judge people here for the most part, unless it's a different setup, on their professional situation. Nothing less and nothing more in that situation. Somerville chooses to hang out here, metaphorically speaking. He watches this because I talk about the media and I opine about the media and occasionally break some rather big stories every now and then. That's my situation here at 415. That's why you come here. He's not a buddy of mine. In fact, I get pissed off, ladies and gentlemen, every now and then about Somerville and what he does, more importantly, what he doesn't do. I think it's a waste what's happened to him, but, and I'm not a psychologist, not a therapist, you got to get your life together. You have to get your life together. I got to get my life together, but I'm not doing what he does or did, for that matter. He's not my buddy. Every now and then, years ago, we used to hang out and have a couple of, shall we say, Cokes, adult beverages, but nothing extreme. And I'm not going to get into that part because that's not my job here. But far from a buddy, I'm more of a critic in that regard. I think it's a damn shame that what he has done in his life has put off any chance, for the most part, of him working again as a news anchor. But he's not my buddy. And I don't take offense to that, but it's just simply not the case, folks. It isn't. He has come on this show a couple of times, not because he loves me, but because he understands that people in the industry and you folks watch, and that I gave him an opportunity to come clean in terms of saying what has happened in his life, some of the unfortunate goings on, if you will. Not because I love him, not because of this, that, and the other. I care about him. I care about a lot of people. But he's not my buddy. And I don't take offense to that. It's just simply not true. So for people to point that out or try to be sarcastic and cast aspersions on myself, go ahead. Make my day. You want to feel proud. And those of you to kind of get this kind of delight, some of you, to take part in somebody's anguish, somebody's misery. Also, if that's your way you go, that's the way you roll, okay. I'm not going to make effort to fix your flow. If that's your way you roll, you know, I don't wish anybody any ill will. That's called karma. And when you go down that road, you yourself, I'm sure every one of you out there, for the most part, has had issues in life. We all have. I don't make fun of anybody in that regard. I've had personal issues in my own life. I had a brother who succumbed to fooling around with drugs, and a father who drank way too much, who was able to fix it at the end, but it was too late. So, we all have one or another. We have all had issues in our life, continue to have issues. The fact that this involves a public person, number one. Number two, I, in any way, shape, or form, do not, relish in the fact that somebody was so fucked up and so issued with life's issues that could have killed somebody, as I've stated before. He knows that, and I'm not here to defend him. Somerville can defend himself, and he's tried to, I think, most of you, whatever, and are never going to forgive him. As well, you shouldn't. I don't disallow, or, if that's the way you feel, that's the way you feel, and I totally get that. He gets that, I hope. Because if he's fucking around again, then forget about the professional life. That's really not even worthy. That's not the important thing here. It's his own personal life. For that, he's going to pay a price, indefinite, beyond all of this. But the reason why I'm very sensitive to this whole thing about him being my buddy, we're not buddies. We're not buddies. There's a lot of irony there, but we're not buddies. I'm here to fulfill every now and then interviews, news items, come out and give you my opinion on things, which you agree or disagree, but mainly to do interviews and to talk about the Bay Area media and beyond, maybe now and in the future. And he's chosen to talk. I'll give him credit for that. But I think it's important to understand. I don't care about celebrity part of that. I really don't. Because a lot of these people have the same problems that we have, or at least some of us have. And he chose this, I don't think because he on purpose. He had issues that he's had to deal with. I'm not here to defend him. He can defend himself. And there are things, frankly, that I'm still pissed off about. And the fact that he blew a career is fucking mind numbing in my book. How anybody could do something like that. But again, I'm not in his shoes. I understand and I see and have talked to people, not in that career, who are brilliant people. Very, very sad. If you could only imagine, and you know this, some of our most incredible people ever were very, very fucked up. Brilliant people, artists and doctors and lawyers and whatever, food people and culture people and, yes, news people, journalists, all that. Look at Mike Wallace, for example. Remember Mike Wallace? 60 Minutes, CBS, all that. A very, very flawed man, depressed and disillusioned and extremely sad. Very, very sad story, which I'll give Mike Wallace credit for when he wrote about it. We didn't know about what was going on in his life. He was able to mask it. Look at Sinatra. Sinatra used to be a phrase about Sinatra. They called it the 4 M's. Magical on stage, miserable off stage. brilliant performer. I know he wasn't brilliant at the end, but for generations, the man sang to us and had melodic, all that imagery and words, and we all loved, I did, Frank Sinatra. Look at people like Woody Allen, and people like, Cher, and people like, Madonna, and we can go on and on. I'm kind of going out and giving you, very, very extreme examples, but examples nonetheless. Jessica Savage, people like that. They're in all walks of life, folks. I pointed to myself. I'm not in any way brilliant, but I talk about things that I'm not very happy about and continue to battle certain demons, my own personal undoing. I had a brother. I talked about my brother, my father's issues in life. I've had to endure various things. So I understand what is taking place. And Frank Somerville is no different than anybody else in that regard. He put his life on the line. He could have killed himself. Forget about that. He could have killed anybody else. And he knows that. And he's chosen to come public with it. And I wish, in this instance, as somebody who cares about life and cares about people's struggles, I wish and I hope that Somerville nips this in the bud and forget about being a broadcaster, news anchor, whatever. Hope he can get control of his life. That's basically what I'm here for, to bring him here and to enable him to talk to you folks, mostly unedited, unfiltered, and to tell people and explain exactly how he came to this juggernaut in his life. So, look, again, I'm not offended that you thought I was, somebody used the term buddy, and it just rankled me. It's the worst thing in my life right now. Hell no. But I wanted to make it clear, just because I have a forum, and look, I'm not going to also be self-righteous and, am I happy that he came here? Of course. He chose that. And I'm delighted that he was able and willing to answer everything and to tell me emphatically, by the way, that nothing was off the table. And for that, again, nothing was off the table. Questions, issues, and that includes comments from you folks, that nothing was off the table. After that, so be it. Whatever happens, happens. But this place is for what I've described. And there are people that don't want to come on this show because whatever, maybe because of me, fine. And, by the way, a lot of so-called buddies that I do have, they don't want to come on here. And I don't blame them. I'm not here to, this is not like, oh, la-di-da. I did an interview with Ross McGowan, which, look, every so now and then we're going to have people that you folks want to talk to. Ross, I regarded as just somebody who was so cool and interesting and had a great show and a great journalistic homage that I appreciated. So no, I'm not going to go, speaking of Mike Wallace, I'm not going to go Mike Wallace on him. There's no need to, by the way. And he's come on. I've had, been planning some things with various media people, not just locally, but nationally too. That's another topic. But I wanted to come clean and say this, is that I thought I did a fairly honest job with Somerville. I thought I was incredibly to the point for the most part, and that I asked questions that I know a lot of you probably thought that I should ask. And some of you maybe said, as I got mail and feedback, you did the right thing. You went about it the right manner. Some of you didn't thought I could have been more, shall we say, upfront and asked a little bit more personal questions in that regard. Okay, I'll give you that. There's no, nobody has a monopoly on how you ask, the style which you ask questions and all that, or whether it's good or bad. But I thought I would come on here just to let you know. And in that way too, a couple of things. If you have legitimate criticism, feedback, that kind of thing, folks, I don't know how to say this more emphatically. I relish, I encourage feedback. I want that. If it's negative, fine. Don't get personal. Don't make little sarcastic remarks. Be open, be transparent about what you feel is constructive criticism. And not only will I publish it, I'll answer it and try to be as upfront as possible. I don't mind people that don't think I'm the flavor of the day, but continue to watch, which I appreciate. I don't mind. If you're going to make little remarks and cunning little shit, then have at least the class, the fairness to identify yourself. If you don't want to be identified, and if you're going to make remarks that are, beyond just the scope of constructive criticism, no, I'm not going to publish your comments. Hell no. And go anonymous, because you know what? I don't believe in that shit. You wanna make innocuous little fine, and go anonymous. I get that part. Okay. But if you're going to come across and fuck with me and say things about me and all that, and not have the cojones to ID yourself, then, screw you. I don't think that's being dishonest. I don't think that's being an asshole. I'm upfront about that. And by the way, speaking of comments, no, I am not going to publish all the comments with your goddamn, oh, Rich is not going to post this, but I'm still going to make a comment that's not going to get published by Rich. You're damn right. I am struggling to keep this site going. And no, I am not curing cancer. I am not parting the Red Sea, as I've often stated. This site is for the opinion, the entertainment value, hopefully, of talking and providing news and information with regards to the Bay Area media. I'm not going to get any kind of into a whole long dissertation. Most of you who watch me, you know what I do, what I don't do. Do I have shortcomings? Of course I do. I'm going off on a tangent, but it had to be stated. And by the way, I don't, and I want this to be in the domain. I don't ever apologize for asking for donations, contributions to make this site go. There have been plenty of times where I could have just said, goodbye. I don't need this aggravation. I love doing this. I know a lot of you want me to continue or stop doing this and maybe write more. That's very difficult. I've gone into that aspect a millions of times, so I don't want to get off on that tangent. This is more convenient. This is more transparent. I feel better. It's easier to talk to you and give you my thoughts. There'll be times where coming up, if you're there to help me, or I'll do an Ask Rich. And we'll put that in the print version because that's easier to answer questions directly with regards to media, with regards to this show, that kind of a thing. And I will never, ever apologize because I see people out there giving me shit and belittling me because I have the audacity to ask for contributions, because I don't encourage advertising, because, again, folks, I don't want to be beholden of what I can say and what I can't say, and what I can discuss and what I can't discuss. If it doesn't work out, then I'll pull the plug. And then, great. A lot of you are going to cheer, and a lot of you won't. And there are a lot of you who enjoy this place because I'm the only one, fact, that stands up to these assholes that are out there, including these media organizations that are not as, shall we say, wholly whole as they used to be, like the fucking Chronicle. Give me a break. What a joke they've become. They haven't just become, they've been that way for years, but I understand now. I also understand why and how people are so fed up with, sounds like a cliche, the mainstream media. I've been in there, sat in it, lived it, been there, done that, all that. These people think that their shit doesn't stink, that everything revolves around them, and they wonder why people have such a skeptical opinion of the media. God, it's so evident. Folks, we haven't even cut through the very, very, there's so much layers and layers and layers. I don't want to get off on that tangent. Started talking about Somerville, but nobody is immune from being on this site. You want to come on and talk, and I mean people who, have issues that they're dealing with, or, projects or something that they want to get out to the public and not have it construed what I regard as, this is my phrase, press release journalism, where everything's coded and all that. That's not my MO. And I'm not going to continue. As long as I keep doing this, it's not going to be press release. I'm going to try my damnedest, my very best to get you everything, any particular kind of a subject matter without all these filters. And finally, yes, I live and die in this forum on your contributions. Without your contributions, I don't have any kind of being. That's as simple as it gets. And every penny that I get goes to me, which enables me to go pay my bills, do all the things that I do here, which enables me to do a broadcast or a written blog every day. Every now and then I'll take a few days off working on stories, working on information, tidbits, things that come my way, in the hopes that I can bring to you not just the first account and not just the right account, but the correct account. I do my damnedest. Okay. Get that out of the way. Folks, if you want to make a contribution of any amount, I appreciate feedback. I also appreciate contributions, whether it's $5, $10, any amount more than that. I will give you the very, very best, the very, very non-BS, and yes, occasionally opinion, which you may agree or disagree. That's why, as I say, I encourage healthy debate. I really do. And I got some things that I'm planning coming up that will be fresh, will not be beholden to, again, an outside force, all there for you. So my email address is rich.lieberman@gmail.com. I read every bit of email, even the goofy ones. And contributions, just go to the PayPal, click on it. PayPal is 100% safe, secure. If you don't want to be bothered with a response from me and you want to be anonymous, that's cool. I get it, and I will not bother you. But I will very secretly thank you for providing me the ways and means to give you Rich Lieberman, which is moi. So I thank you for that. And you guys have a great, great time.